So I've done several videos today about Scotland, the MacLeods, Jesus, the disciples, a whole bunch of stuff. And I had mentioned this book, which is the Holy Land of Scotland. I do believe it definitely is a holy land. I do believe, yes, the Scots are for sure the chosen people after the resurrection. There's a lot of documentary evidence besides what's in here for the things I said, but all of this, what's in here, it's a small book. I don't believe. It's a lot of speculation. But nothing I mentioned was speculation. The only thing that I said that was not in this book that I even said yesterday is I believe the MacLeod clan has the Holy Grail. I believe they have the cup from the Last Supper. I just think that they would never want to, you would never want to put that out there. But even their own clan says there's nothing in their records to show where the history comes from with that, and they don't use it in ceremonies. The horn thing that they drink out of that, and then their fairy flag, that came from fairies, and I think that the same thing with the cup. They just don't have an actual date or anything on it. Whatever it is, if you look up, that Dunvegan cup, you'll find a bunch of different stories. So if you were the clan or family that had the actual Last Supper cup, that's the way you would want it. Have a bunch of different stories out there. Otherwise, you would have nothing but a nightmare of people wanting to come for it. So there's nothing in this book or anything else I've read. If it is out there, I haven't come across it. I just speculate that because of how rich of a history the clan MacLeod has. And, going back to because the Vikings are part of their clan in a way, because it was Leod from the Viking area, and then it became MacLeod. But they were part of the Gaelic traditions. That said, as much as the MacLeod clan is an awesome clan, there are globalists. Okay, because they're a huge clan. There's two sets of them. There's the MacLeods of Lewis and the MacLeods of the Isle of Skye, something like that. So there's two different sects. They're still the same, family. But the thing is that you're with that many MacLeods, and because the MacLeods' history, they were even enslaved at point in their history, like in medieval times. They kept them in a dungeon in Scotland on Ardviger. It was at Ardviger Castle in Assist, Scotland, which was actually ended up being part of the MacLeod's land too. But the MacLeods weren't enslaving, I forget who it was, but had taken all their farmland, everything, just evicted them out of their homes. And I think it was Rome. And then took them into slavery and kept them in this castle dungeon. So they've been on the side of being slaves, and then they've been on the side of great wealth too. But I would just say that, so their history goes back to, having these interactions with fairies, angels, but then they also, their history goes back to the devil always wanting to get a MacLeod. Yeah, devil seemed to really want to get a MacLeod soul. And some would give in to it. Some MacLeods, nope, they wouldn't give in, but for the right amount of money, some of them did sell out and then would find out, the devil's not going to carry out his end of the bargain, though. So you have to realize this day and age, there's some of those MacLeods that are globalists. Now, Donald Trump, of course, he's from that lineage. He's definitely not a globalist. That's for sure. He's the one that alerted everybody to them. But I would just say to any Scots that maybe come across this and you're a globalist, don't call yourself a Scotsman. I don't care if you have the blood of a Scot. No member of a Scotland clan at all should be about globalism, given your history of wanting to be independent. So if you're a globalist and a Scotsman, oh, what a disgrace. What a disgrace to your bloodline. Just my humble opinion. Who am I? I really wish this is the Trump-in church in Scotland. I really wish I knew why it was named. It seems so out of place. It has nothing to do with Donald Trump, but it's called the Trump-in church. A humble old ruined where on the first Sunday of May in 1578, members of Clan MacDonald burned all the gathered MacLeod churchgoers alive, save one little girl who managed to escape through a window by blocking the exit. They blocked the exits and setting the thatched roof on fire. They all died, okay, and yet the McLeods got even with them, because I said in my last video how the water came in and took all the McDonald's boats out to sea, so they had no way to escape. So the McLeods, definitely, these two clans went at it many times. And the Battle of the Spoiling Dyke, I think this was after, because there was a couple of, this is between the McLeods and the McDonalds, seeking revenge for the massacre of several members of their clan on the Isle of Ig some years earlier. So these two had some pretty heavy-duty massacre battles with each other. And it was during one of those battles that the McLeod clan raised the fairy flag, and it saved them. So the fairy flag, they have one last wish on it, although they don't even display it because it's so tattered. This is really all you can find. It's that tattered. So they still do have one wish left on it, though. So that's why I say they call it a fairy flag, because it came from fairies. I would say angels. Again, Scotland goes back 2,000 years. And I think the Norsemen go back even further. So this is, the McLeods are part Norse too, although what they honor is the Gaelic traditions. That said, the McLeod church and McLeod vault, it seems that they are in charge of a lot of different old medieval churches and very land that is needed to be in history. So there's a whole bunch of these different ones. Like there's this one, and I think this one says it. So and you can go online, it'll tell you about the different sites, show you a picture of it. This monument is of national importance because of its potential to contribute to an understanding of a multi-period ecclesiastical site dating probably from the early Christian period through medieval times and up to the 18th century. Its importance is enhanced by its strong links with the McLeod family and the documentary evidence available. The monument has the potential to contribute to a broader understanding of elite society in this part of Scotland, given the survival of associated secular remains. And this is another one. So they're all like this. You can go and read about them and the history, and the McLeod vault. The Presbytery of Calgary McLeod. So they go back to a lot of churches. Scotland does, though. I mean, their structure, their monuments, everything, Scotland period. It would make sense that if God wanted to put the things that were of importance that he would want to be revealed one day, I think in a Scotland clan's hands would be the place to put it. Standing stones in Scotland, mysterious megalithic monuments. Yeah, there's so many. There's so much you think you know about Scotland. I mean, I've never been there, but no, their history is unbelievably fascinating. The standing stones on Scotland's Isle of Lewis. Yeah, there's Isle of Skye and Isle of Lewis, and each is a different McLeod clan. And then you have all your other Scotland clans, don't get me wrong. But I think the McLeods is one of the biggest. So, their history is, their structure, their land, everything screams, old world. Maybe even older than old world. Peter's Stone. That's the area of it. I think it's that up there at the top. Most importantly, hold fast. Yeah. Just look up how often hold fast is mentioned in the Bible. If God wanted to send you a message, I think he'd use Scotland to let you know that's where the truth really lies, for sure.